That's a lovely, that William and Mary. I love that series.
I wish they'd let Julie go on top. My face hangs down. All that skin, like an old dog.
You don't know how lucky you are. It's really to lie on top of Julie Graham and to complain about
true.
it.
Yes, the opening in showbiz I was looking for.
Oh, absolutely. That's
Not like
no,
that.
rephrase that. I was about to say, that child looks a fabulous actor to me.
He's two fabulous actors,
He's
actually.
two, is he?
He's twins, Max and Harvey, yeah.
Right.
So fantastic. So their mother made a sort of science of it. For about 2 months before, they had photos of all the characters. And they knew Julie and I as mummy and daddy, as well, which wasn't in competition with their own mummy and daddy. No. They knew all the characters, but only by their character names, not by their... And then they became au fait with words like action. You know, so we had to change that to bananas or whatever, because they kept going, they go, and action, action. Action. Or their favourite one was, they sound like Peter Sellers in, where they say, you know, they say turning. You know, sound running, turning, turning. Turning. So, yeah, we had to develop a code. But they were brilliant. And you'd look at the day's work and you'd think, right, Thomas smears yoghurt over his face, shakes hands with somebody, puts yoghurt on them, and then runs down the corridor. You thought, you know, well, that's take 75, isn't it, at least? But they were artfully shot, but they do it every time. They were brilliant. Yeah, it was a treat.
But, I mean, you've worked together many times.
Julie, yeah.
Yeah, with Julie, yeah. And there's a nice intimacy that arises.
Well, yeah, I mean, I adore her. That helps. Yes. Yeah, we get on terribly well.
I mean, what all this is leading up to it is what we saw at the beginning there, the sort of sex scenes.
Yes.
Yes. And I just wondered if it got easier the better you knew a person, or if it didn't, you know.
I don't know, you know, it's... in a way, sex is sort of easier than kissing. I did one job, I have to have one film about wife swapping. We have to have sex with pretty much everyone, and it's sort of, I believe it's the same with prostitutes. They don't like to kiss, because there's the bump and the grind thing. I mean, because you're filming it as well, you know.
Yes.
They say, oh, it'll be a closed set. So they go, all right, closed set, everyone. The door opens. So they're all pile in, you know, got taking notes on
dressing
on
gowns.
the dressing gown, the inadequate dressing gowns and backless pants.
Yeah.
You know, it's not erotic. That's quite famous. Everybody says it's not. It's
I mean, you don't
erotic.
have to still think about, you know, the station on the Bakerloo line or anything like that when you...
Is that a euphemism?
Well,
oh, no, James Tunnels, what's he getting at?
There must be a free zone sometimes. I mean, in which case you must control yourself.
Are you asking if I get an
No, I'm
erection?
not.
You really are.
Have you ever had an erection?
No, but Julie's funny on the subject. She said, because, you know, she said, well, you don't know whether to be, you know, flattered if they do or insulted if they don't. Or annoyed by either.
But, I mean, the bigger question is, why do we sort of think this is a big deal? And why do when I read research and I say, sex, oh, I'll ask him about that. Why do I think there's something in that? Tell me.
Well,
No.
I mean, the fact one has to accept is that we are rather infantile in that regard, so that if you're watching a film and, say, Tom Cruise picks up a gun and shoots someone through the head, like in Collateral, you just think, oh, his character shot someone in the head. If he pulls down his trousers and then his pants and you see his knob, you go, that's Tom Cruise's knob! You know? He's not killed anybody. It was his hands that used the gun. In other words, the moment someone takes their clothes off, the fiction stops, the story stops, and you're looking at the actor's bits, not the character's bits.
Yes.
So, and there's no way around that. And it's not a question of being prudish or anything. It's a bad idea to do nude scenes because everybody stops. The story stops.
Yes.
And you look at the actor's, you know, knob.
Yeah.
No.
That's going to be my new excuse.
Yeah.
No.
You know what they say, big ears.
Yeah, small car.
You also play, of course, you play an Undertaker in this. Let's explore this part that you play, because, I mean, you're playing an Undertaker, you talk to Undertakers, you spend a lot of time in crematorium, places like that. Has it caused you to revise your thinking about death? Or
Yeah. Well, about how I'm dealt with, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
About how you're dealt with?
Yes. I think I want to take my chance with the worms.
Really?
Yeah, don't think I want to be cremated.
Why is that?
It might hurt. It might really hurt. being cremated.
I heard of a friend of mine went to a burning, what do you call them?
Cremation.
A cremation, thank you. I was going to say incineration, it sounds wrong, but... and, you know, the music they play, they publish top 10 lists, and it's usually The Wing Beneath Your Wings or something ghastly like that. This person had the theme from Countdown.
It's brilliant.
I think it's fantastically witty.
That's a sketch.
Brilliant, yeah.
Now, this is going out then, it's next week, isn't it, the new series of...
April 17th it starts,
2 weeks
a little
time.
ahead of
2 weeks
Stephen's
time.
project.
And that's the third series.
Third series, yeah.
And then you're about to shoot... Are you shooting, or have you shot the Doc Martin?
No, we're off down to Cornwall the end of May for 4 months this year, yeah.
Your eyes light up.
Yeah, I love it, yeah,
You're living down in Dorset now.
I live in Dorset, we got the countryside thing.
But what about the part you play too? Because that's a wonderful part, and couldn't be more different than what you play in William and Mary. I mean, you're an appalling old sod in this one, like vile man.
Absolutely.
It must be fun to play vile.
But a lot of the more I meet people who like the show and they tell me about their surgeon stories, it's like we're just on the lower states. I heard a man was in the last week of his life, and his wife said to the surgeon, I've got a light box. I thought it might, he seems to respond to it. Would you mind if we put it in? He said, madam, you can cut off a chicken's head and smear its blood over his body. It won't make any difference at all.
Yeah, my doctor's there. If I occasionally used to get very bad sinuses, and I'd say, oh, God, there's anything I try. He said, just steam in a bowl. I said, should I add some menthol and eucalyptus? He said, if you want. Utterly pointless, fruitless thing to do. My friend Hugh, you know Hugh, obviously, Hugh Laurie is just currently wowing them in America. He's doing this series, playing a doctor who makes Doc Martin look like Dr. Finlay. I mean, he's unbelievable. You know, you're going to die, boring, next. You know, he really... I mean, it's a huge hit on Fox. I mean, it's obviously the way forward, is cruel doctors.
Yes. And what about yourself? I mean, if you became that grumpy guy that he is, the guy with opinions on everything, I mean, what would you be actually... do you think, railing about? If you're all grumpy old men, what are you having a go at?
I don't know. Grumpy old men, probably. Moaning is quite dreary, isn't it?
Moaning.
Yeah. Well, moaning is often the first point of contact for English people who haven't met one another before. I was on a bus years ago going up Brixton Hill, and it stopped, the doors open, people got on and started up again. This old lady went, stop, start, stop, it's a bus!
Absurd logic to it.
You know, my part of it would go, yes.
And finally, I mean, what else then? I mean, you're too busy to contemplate, I suppose, any other work at present.
That takes... well, no, might do something next year. There's a little telefilm about a guy with testicular cancer called Losing It. Ha-ha. Probably do that next year, yeah.
It sounds a very serious subject indeed.
It is. It's quite a funny take on it. I mean, funny take on testicular cancer. But that's the endeavour, yeah.
And what about theatre? Have you got rid of that out of your system now?
I know, I got the Judders again coming past it next door tonight. Actually, well, not to...
Don't talk to me about
but I remember in rehearsal... I hadn't done it for 12 years, and sort of week 2 of rehearsal, they were doing the Guardian... You know, have you got 6 down yet, darling? The Guardian crossword, and I was just being crap, and I was very seriously thinking, I can't do it. It's not coming back. I thought, Stephen did a runner. They didn't sue him. and that had opened. I thought I'd do the runner.
Belgium, yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard work in as much as you've got to turn up to the same place and do the same thing.
That's right.
And your body won't let you do something different. I did a play, Alan Bennett's 40 Years On, and about 6 months in, and I used to have to tick this boy off tick him off very severely. And, sorry, I don't know why I bothered with that. And in doing it, I had to bang my finger up and down on the desk. And I noticed one matinee that the varnish had worn away. It had gone completely pale. It was dark wood, where my finger had done in the same place. So I thought the next night, the next performance, I would do it on another part. And my body literally would not let me. I went like that, and it just went back in the same place. It just freaks you out. It's horrible.
It's flatulent too, isn't it? All the nerves. You stand in the way. I had a big cassock on as well, the last thing. It kind of contains these. They've got a time release on it. glide across the stage, and the other... That's why they all had fans in the restoration. It's a smelly, sweaty business.
Oh, there's nothing else to say. Martin Clunes, thank you very much indeed, Martin Clunes.